Hello and welcome to the Purple Sector's podcast post Dutch Grand Prix edition. My name is Kunal Shetty, and joining me on the podcast, as always, is my brother Shashank Shetty and my sister from another mother, Pooja Reddy.
Hi guys.
Uh, so this weekend was obviously the Dutch Grand Prix. It was a welcome back for all of us from the midsummer break, and I got to say it was quite a banger. What started off as possibly, once Max was on pole on qualifying, I feared the worst that it's going to be one of those standard run of the mill races like what we've seen for the first half of the season. But what transpired was something quite different. I think for the first time, the rain came at the right time. Uh, Usually, I think we through the entire season, we've seen a lot of uh, races that have been, there's at least been one session, or, qualifying or a part of the race which had the rain. But for the first time, I think the rain came at the right time, and it came multiple times in the race itself. So that kind of threw in a spanner in the works, I should say. And yeah, you saw a lot of strategies, you saw a lot of chaos, and that kind of made that race super intriguing right from the beginning, and right up until the end. So yeah, I think that was pretty much how I saw the race. While the results were, I should say, quite the same that we've seen throughout the season. That's actually only in position one again. We always said position one seems to be what's fixed, but from two onwards, I think we can say it's going to be open ended, and it's going to continue to be open ended because, as usual, Perez in one way or the other hits the bed. Now, whether it's to what extent completely depends on race to race. So, Pooja, anything more to add to how you saw the race and where you saw the race?
So I did watch the race from home. In fact, after the summer break, I looked forward to the practice sessions as well. So I was following it from P1, and I did see the weather taking a turn. I did see the a number of the cars go into the barriers. So it did seem like an exciting race was going to come up, and I mean, I did hope for rain because that seemed to be the only thing that would maybe put a twist in the results, and that's what we got. So happy the rain came when it did.
Sashu and me were watching this together, and he was having a stone cold stare at the screen, and he seemed unimpressed by most things. Uh, but he seemed to be intrigued at least. I mean, he seemed a little unimpressed, but I could see it in his face that he found it quite entertaining. And as a fun fan who looks at the sport, I'm sure he found this race very entertaining for him. Sashu, if anything else that you want to say about the race, anything that you saw, anything that you felt was different from what we've seen through the season thus far.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's the same winner all races. Like we all saw that I think Max again won this time, but the outcome of the race, even being similar, uh, the race still was interesting because of obviously the weather that played quite an important role in making it interesting. But in the end of the day, I think the fans should realize that it's not really the winner that makes a race interesting or non-interesting. But I think it's a lot of other factors also that go into it that make a race interesting, not interesting. So, like we spoke even, I think before that there have been a lot of I think phases of domination. Like now, I think even though Max won, it was still a very interesting race, and I was totally hooked on to the race after quite a long time.
Also, we happened to see that you've put on a Ferrari cap. Any reasons for doing so? Have you turned a corner and decided you have to support the right people and at the right time? Okay, the right people at the wrong time.
Yeah, I just clarify that I've always been a TV fan So this cap is for Kimi, and also because we have the Italian Grand Prix coming up, so it's for the Italian Grand Prix, and also maybe a reminder that I am still a Kimi fan. So the cap is for that. I still haven't changed my allegiance, and I am still not the biggest of Ferrari fans. But this is totally for the Grand Prix that's coming up.
What rubbish. You could have picked any cap of Kimi. You picked the Ferrari cap and you're saying, ki, deep down, I'm only a Kimi fan. We don't accept this kind of falsifying information about your reasons for putting on that cap. It's a lovely cap. We appreciate that you've joined us as we get into Monza. Perhaps Kimi will be there, to see, have a drink or two, and celebrate as we do a double podium in Monza, which is highly likely in my small little world, which I called a delusional world at Ferrari right now. But yeah, it's good to see the cap. Yeah, it's good to see the cap. I mean, Pooja, both of us didn't come in any Ferrari attire. So I don't know who's the real fan. Is it this guy who's sitting with us, or is it both of us?
The one who's trying to
I'm a
make it
little.
obvious, I think, is the non-fan at the moment.
Yeah, it's time to get out of the.
But everybody is a Ferrari fan, right? Like better.
Everybody is a Ferrari fan. Correct. Absolutely. Sashu's come out of the closet as a Ferrari fan finally in front of us. Yeah.
Whatever makes you happy.
So, no, what makes me happy is that everyone should follow Ferrari, and what makes me happier is Ferrari don't do something stupid. I am, at this point, I'm very okay with them doing well in the race, having, doing the best of what they can and with the car they have. I don't like Ferrari doing stupid shit anymore. Like, I don't want to be, at the end of the weekend, all these Red Bull fans and all saying, "Arey, did you know how you guys fucked up again? The strategy was bad. What were you all doing? The tires weren't there." That's what I want to, hopefully avoid going forward. But that's wishful thinking. Given not the drivers, but everyone else in the team seems to be super lackluster at the moment. But let's see. We can only wait and watch. I think some few more highlights I wanted to just quickly run by. Not highlights, but things that happened, I should say. At the Dutch Grand Prix, obviously, poor Ricciardo went and broke his hand to just avoid his fellow Australian. That was actually quite an innocuous accident. I wouldn't expect, someone to break a hand at that corner at that speed. Because if you see later on, once the rain came at the end of the race, you saw Zhou whack the barriers at 19 Gs. And that's the expectation was that he would get out of there safe, which was great to see. But it was a very surprising thing that Ricciardo broke his hand with that accident, and that kind of sets him back from his road to take Perez's seat for next year. See, I said it. I have already said it. This is going to happen.
But I think that happened because I think just before impact, most drivers tend to take their hands off the steering, and you can see that Ricciardo did not get his hands off the steering, so I think that led to more of an impact. I don't know, transpiring and going into his arm. Whereas normally it's the impact does not reach the arm of the driver because as soon as they see that they are going into a barrier, they take their hands off the steering, just bracing for impact. So I think that's what led to the injury.
Right, I read that somewhere too, that he didn't follow standard protocol and he didn't take his hand off the wheel. Something they were supposed to do, he didn't do, and he did end up hurting his hand.
Rusty. He's forgotten. Last first 6 months of the year, he's forgotten. You have to take your hands off. Yeah, this is the same thing you have to do when you crash in Hyderabad. By the way, you have to take your hands off immediately. But you won't have that impact. But I'm saying, yeah, I didn't see you. That's the reason you take your hands off. I
think they
didn't see
don't
you.
do
You
about
didn't see
20
me.
kilometers per hour, so the impact's not going to be that great. You could take your hands off also.
How are you saying that you don't go above 20 kilometers per hour? You barely go below 60 kilometers per hour unless it's like peak traffic. Then there's no option. But yeah, Shashu's actually driving usually in European conditions. He's always driving on the right side of the road and overtaking from the left side of the road. So he's meant to be in Europe going for these races, driving from the other side of the road. But maybe there he'll go and overtake from the right side of the road. He's a degenerate.
Wow, you're painting such a pretty picture.
It's yeah, okay. But coming back, just a couple of other things that I wanted to quickly talk to you guys about and just put it out there is that Ferrari weren't the only ones who fucked up strategy and did bad pit stops this race. In fact, yeah, we did a very bad pit stop. Our call was right with Charles. We got him in early. We didn't have the tires, obviously. They were with wheel ones and they said, okay, what do we do next? And they forgot the tires. But I think they were bang on with Sainz. And Sainz was spectacular this weekend. He was superb. In a car which was probably behind the Alpines, behind Aston Martin, behind McLaren, Mercedes, and obviously Red Bull. He came in fifth and he was super strong. So he did well. And I think most teams, it was a lottery with strategy. So it was really hard to call it. But other than Ferrari, I think I would say Mercedes did way worse with strategy. I think McLaren did a very bad job with Lando and with Oscar. Aston also didn't have had an issue with Fernando's pit stop, but by then Fernando was like, "You तेरे को कितना time लेना है तू ले. Well, anyways, going to get all these guys. I'm very happy with my car." He had one smirk on his face throughout the weekend. He knew the car was fast. And yes, Stroll is well on his way to becoming a tennis player now. So I think he's checked out. He said, "TK, I will start playing." He's coming and training with Bhupati from next month. Apparently, he's moving out. This is news you got from me. Yeah, don't reveal to anyone. Although we are on a podcast, don't reveal.
Too late, but when it comes to, yeah, you know where you heard it first.
Yeah, so there are two things which are happening. One is Stroll is obviously going to become a tennis player, and Lawrence Stroll has filed for papers to take guardianship of Fernando Alonso. So all his property now will go to Fernando, and that's he's adopting him as his true son.
Say so.
This is the Taza khabar. This is the goss. Poojan, do you have any other goss who's been naughty, who's been nice, or maybe it's too early to say because I think post weekend there would have maybe today, tomorrow you'll maybe come across some goss which we should get into because I obviously find it very interesting. As much as people say, I don't want the gossip and all, everyone's looking at the gossip. There's a reason that they are there, and there's a reason that they're so popular. Anything, Pooja?
I have a lot of summer break gossip, but I mean, basically has to do with who's dating who and um, the Ferrari guys. I think at least one of them last season said he didn't want to date anyone because he wanted to focus on the season. I think everyone knows who I'm talking about. But turns out he went and got himself a girlfriend who looks pretty similar to his earlier girlfriend. So I'm a little confused. And I definitely don't see the focus, considering there have been more DNFs than I thought there would be for this particular guy. I mean, Charles Leclerc. Carlos, too, kind of surprised me. A 7-year relationship came to an end. So he is now dating an absolutely hot woman, but her past is not the greatest that I want to talk about, so we can come there. Fernando has a new girlfriend. Mick Schumacher has a new girlfriend. The boys have been busy this summer. I mean, a lot of them. Pierre.
Fernando, what his new girlfriend not Taylor Swift? No,
Unless you
I thought he was going for that Era store and all. I thought he will be the one who will finally close the tour with like a really nice duet with Taylor Swift.
Not
It's a love story, baby, just say it. Yeah.
but no. Lance has a new girlfriend. A lot of people.
Is she a tennis
lot of
player?
people- no,
No.
she's a, but maybe soon we'll hear the tennis player romance also. Then we'll know.
I've been using. I have been using this reason that I want to focus on my career, but I just don't find any women. So it's a different thing for me.
From Shah.
Such you should take a tip from this brother of mine who's wearing the Ferrari cap. He's rejecting people. He's also focusing on his career, but अरे but no, your person for you to perform at the highest level in sport, I think your personal life should be sorted. You should be in a state of bliss, and you should feel. So that's why I'm saying.
Yeah, I can remember when Lewis Hamilton was leading Nicole racing club, and I think after they stopped seeing each other, Lewis Hamilton's career did take a I think turn
For the
and
better.
and the return for the better performances really improved. I think in the last in the next 2 3 seasons, and that was also something that he did not say it publicly, but it was I think spoken about, and also I read it somewhere that he did call it with his relationship with Nicole to focus on his Formula One career, and I guess it did pay off. I mean, he's a 7-time world champion now.
See, that was the last of me. I stopped supporting Lewis Hamilton as soon as he dumped her. Like that was just wrong. I'll allow everything, but that was just uncalled for. So that was the final stop, and I completely stopped supporting Hamilton. It was yeah.
But there are rumors of Lewis's new girlfriend, Shashu. We were discussing.
Yeah.
Who?
We were discussing that there is a potential relationship happening with Shakira.
Oh, Shakira.
So I'm waiting for confirmation from Pooja.
I'm
After
waiting.
that, it will be revealed on Purple Sector. So, guys,
Pooja, check.
we'll wait for the confirmation from Pooja.
I'll stop talking. And
Next episode.
Next we're on.
Yeah, figure out from your sources, Poojams, what is happening.
I've
Because
been on it. I'm still waiting for confirmation. That's all. So I'll get you the confirmation soon, hopefully.
yeah, because on the podcast we want to look at the driving side of it and the sporting side of it, but also to look at what gets someone to really click, what makes the drivers click, which includes what's happening in their personal lives, because we also don't have any other work, so we definitely want to know more.
Yeah, I think your personal definitely has to be stable and solid. Whether you're seeing somebody, not seeing somebody, yeah, I think it's inconvenient, but it has to be sorted, is what I would say. Will affect companies' the basic performances also.
Wise words from the non-Ferrari fan here.
Not Ferrari fan with cap on.
So Sashu, are you still focusing on your career?
I am focusing on my career for the last 35 years, people.
What, from year one you're on your career only?
Always.
See guys, this is a career-oriented guy. He set his career goals when he was 1 year old. Even Fernando Alonso would have not set his career goals at 1. He got his starting chance at 3. So, lost opportunities, Ashu. You should have also started at 1. You and Kimi would have raced together.
I should take leave out of Shah's book. What do you say, Poojams?
I think so. We'll have an update by the next segment.
Yeah, for sure. I think we will definitely have a update on this for the legions of fans who would want to know more about this. which starts off with the three of us, including me, and then we'll see about the others. But yeah, so other than the strategies, yeah, and just one last thing before we move to our first segment that you want to go by is Liam Lawson's debut. I think he did an absolutely stellar job. He kept it on the track. That's all that was expected, and yeah, he did well. Yeah, to come in practice, one practice session, I think. I think free practice 3, qualifying, and then race. And those conditions, constantly changing conditions, they were dreadful, and he just kept it on the track. And then he had because of Ferrari and sorry, Leclerc's car was a bit of a mess, so he got a chance to overtake him and all. I think Leclerc then got past him, and then he said, "Okay, I want to finish off this race now. Please bring me in." But yeah, I think that's anything else that I've missed out. Just to summarize, the Dutch GP. Anything that you guys found interesting? Actually, one more thing, which is I have to say this because I think it was spectacular, was the energy in that crowd was incredible. Whenever there was a lull, I mean, you had that DJ blaring out music, and they had that mascot, that lion. So yeah, there was that lion, and he was dancing with that man in the orange suit, and they were losing it. They were losing it every time. I think then Martin Garrix, I think, also had the checkered flag at the end. So that was something that was very interesting. And yeah, just to close out, I have to say this, that DC was quite incredible on commentary this weekend. I don't know if you guys saw the F1 live stream, or did you guys see Martin Brundle and the other side Sky?
I watched the international stream.
Oh, you did the international one, okay. No, DC was super fun. He came up with all kinds of uh, crazy anecdotes, and his comedy was absolutely on point.
The weather conditions were, I think, more changed than what he experienced in Scotland.
Correct. So he was a lot of fun.
Didn't he also apply for the Red Bull? Red Bull?
Yeah.
Driver seat. What did he apply?
He said, yeah,
Started
Alpha
with that,
Tauri.
right?
Yeah, he did that, and he got a reply, I think, from Christian Horner also. So he's wasted a lot of the money in the past. It seems crashing the cars. Cool. So I think we'll just swoop into our first segment. So this is obviously we started off last week with a 3-word mid-season review, but we're going to do the 3-word race review for the Dutch Grand Prix. So I leave it to you all. Should we go ladies first? Okay, Pujams is going to get the ball rolling.
With the rain, we had a lot of incidents. My 3-word race review this time is so basically, before I say this, I've come prepared and I have a backup to my actual answer as well. So I'll give you all of them today. It starts with one, got no grip, also known as into the barriers. That's the first of my 3 words review. And the second one, basically again to do with the weather, but I think it was weather versus podium, also known as rain versus strategy. That's my second option for the 3-word race review. I don't think I need to get into the specifics because it's pretty clear. A number of cars went into the barriers starting from practice, and then with the weather continuously changing, I think the teams also had to keep changing their strategy. And basically, the ones who made it to the podium, who did perform well, are the ones who got their strategy right and at the right time. So that would be my review for this race.
Okay, before we go to Sashu, let me reiterate the rules. It is one 3-word race review.
So
One means one. No, I'm kidding. Pujams, you guys have to stop talking midweek about these 3-word race reviews that you're discussing and coming very close to.
I haven't discussed this with anyone.
I think if it were a fact that we discussed it, then we would discuss it and have different race reviews or different 3-word race reviews. So you can see that it happened
it's clear Sashu's focusing on his career, man. He's coming here only and he's taking these 3 word race reviews. Cool, Sashu. I leave it to you to give your 3 word race review.
So I don't know. It's hard to get away from the fact that the rain defined the race. I think in the Dutch Grand Prix. So even my 3 word race review is the rain is coming. So I think there were a lot of conversations that were happening on the radio where drivers are asking when the rain is coming, and then I think people on the pit lane box were telling people the rain is coming in the next 2 minutes, and in the next 5 minutes, in the next 3 minutes, and it's going to last for 7.5 minutes and 30 minutes and 50 minutes. So I think I can recall a lot of those conversations that I had when I think about the race that I watched. So my 3 word race review, I think the rain is coming.
Strong words there, Sashu. It's all about the rain. It was about the rain, I think. Yeah, I think rain is the main talking point. And yeah, it kind of affected most people's races in one way or the other, whether it made it better race for someone or it made the race a lot worse for someone else. But yeah, and for the first time, the weather gods were like just having a gala time. Like they were just saying, "Chalo, let's have some rain now." And, okay, stop it immediately. Then we'll start again. And then okay, now I'm just going to pour down like a crazy person. And then okay, I'm going to stop it again. So they were on their worst behavior in terms of putting rains out like periodically and for very short bursts. And because I think it's also on the coastline, so I think the weather comes in really quickly, and then it also because of the winds and all, also the track really dries up also very quickly. So it's really hard for the guys on the pit wall to gauge what to do. But as usual, Hannah got it right. Hannah always gets it right. Especially Hannah and Max, though they get right. Even though Max, I think he pitted a lap late. I mean, most of them went on lap 1, and at that point, Sergio actually pitted, and he was 14-15 seconds ahead. Max, I don't know how he kept it on the track and did a decent enough lap on those soft tires in the rain. Was 15 seconds behind at the end of lap 3, I guess. And then he, as usual, just quickly caught up with Sergio in 4 seconds, which is the thing which I don't understand with Sergio. I mean, he was 15 seconds ahead. He was, in the driving, what do you say? What do you say? What am I saying? In the driving seat. Thank you, Pooja. He was in the driver's seat. He just, I mean, even if you'd expect Max to possibly, come back at that speed in 3-4 laps and just literally go past him in the same car, is, I think, it's going to start to look a little unacceptable even for a helmet. I think it's too easy and it's too quick. I mean, Max is Max, but you cannot be losing 3-4 seconds a lap in the same car, in the same conditions, on the same tire.
Similar thing is happening with the Aston Martin because Alonso is way quicker than
Yeah.
Lance. Otherwise, I think if you look at most teams, both drivers are kind of matching each other. But I think that in the case of Red Bull and Aston Martin, there is a lot of difference between the two drivers.
Yeah, totally. I think the Aston Martin bit actually, this something interesting I saw was, which is not really related to Aston Martin, but Zach Brown had done a fun kind of session, I think, with the P1 guys, with Lando and Oscar, and he had a very cheeky comment. So he was destroying both of these guys on the quiz, and then he said, kind of like how Alonso destroys Stroll on the track. So Zach also is like throwing in a lot of zingers on the side. He doesn't care about what he's saying. He's just letting it rip. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely true. I think these are the two teams like Shashwin you mentioned. I think which have vastly contrasting drivers in terms of the way they're performing.
Is Stroll still going to be driving for Aston Martin?
No, I told you, no, he's joining tennis. He's becoming a tennis player. You guys are not taking me seriously. Directly, he's going to start as a tennis player, and he's going to pair up with. Think he'll pair up with Djokovic or something for doubles in some practice rounds, and then he'll die. But he's going to start with doubles. Let's not be unrealistic. Doubles. That's why he's going to Bhupati, and Bhupati and Pace don't talk to each other. So he'll go to Bhupati first, spend some time, then he'll go to Pace and spend some more time. So he'll get Gyan from both of them, play with both of them for a while, and then directly Djokovic.
So my next question is Lawrence Stroll also going to float the idea of maybe having fifth Grand Slam? That he owns the Grand Slam?
That's a very high possibility. I think that you hit the. I think he'll fifth Grand Slam, the Lawrence Stroll Grand Slam. He'll say, "I want to buy the federation only." I mean, yeah. I mean, he has to help out his son. Yeah, he's a really good father. Yeah, we must commend the fact that he's such a supportive father.
Throwing money, doing everything he can.
But yeah, tennis is. I mean, given his performance, but I think you're 100% right. I think will he be there? Should he be there? Is he going to cost Aston Martin a third in the championship? Is he going to cost Aston Martin development money or whatever comes with starting to win? It's also good. It builds momentum. And it just helps the team, I think, in the factory also to just, keep building on things. But one guy is going so fast, one guy is saying, I don't know what's happening. I think he'll have to make that decision, Lawrence Stroll. I don't think he can keep going. Maybe one more year. Also allow Alans to, be on the circuit in tennis also, just, do things for a year before he takes the leap. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think all Lawrence Stroll has come across as a shrewd businessman. So I think he's not.
Yeah.
He's not going to probably give that much leeway to junior Stroll even though he's his son. Because at the end of the day, I think profits do matter, and they've also invested a lot in their. I think their
Factory
and their wind tunnel. I think he has to be answerable to the people who invested with him. And I think I would give it a maximum of maybe the 2024 season. And if he does not perform as per what is expected of him, I think senior Stroll is going to look outside.
I like how Sashu calls him senior Stroll.
All of this coming from a new business. Profits do matter, guys.
Oh, हमारे बुजुर्ग है. So, yeah, senior. So, yeah, just before we close out this segment, I'll just come to my 3-word race review. Max is unstoppable is my 3-word race review. I mean, I actually had made the prediction that, in the first race of, post the summer break, Red Bull's domination would end and Max would basically not win. And I think this was the best opportunity in terms of the weather through curveballs after curveballs. As much as, I mean, Max is fantastic. There's no doubt about it. I have a lot of respect for the driver, but I said, he's going to slip up somewhere. There is a mistake somewhere there. And these were conditions where he could have made a mistake. Red Bull could have made a mistake. Red Bull kind of made a mistake by keeping it on the track in the first lap. But, I mean, zero mistakes, zero errors. The weather threw everything at him. There was a red flag. They had to restart the race. But just nothing was going to get in his way. And that's quite incredible. I mean, this was I in my mind when the rain came in the first lap, and then when the rain came later on, and I saw Red Bull in the gravel my heart leapt. I said, "Is it Max? Is Max?" Then I said to myself, "No, no, don't be stupid. It can't be Max. It's our friend Sergio." Sergio was there. Yeah, so that's my 3 word. As much as it hurts me to say this, but I mean, this was the opportunity. This is the opportunity for the others to also move ahead, or make a strategy call which would really benefit them, get them that 20 seconds lead, and then maybe try to hold it. But that didn't happen.
I think only the two restarts that happened after the safety car for half a lap. Alonso, I think, kind of kept pace with Max, but then that was basically for half a lap, and afterwards, Max just did what Max has been doing in this season.
I'm a bounce. Yeah, just say I'm gonna go. I'm
I
gonna
think
leave.
Alonso said also, right, that he did want to try, but he figured he would exit the circuit, so it was just better to stay in second. So if there was anyone, then I think Alonso could have challenged him, but good. So,
Yeah, that mascot in the lion suit would have actually behaved like a lion only, I think. If something would have, he would have transformed into an actual lion.
I think also this is one of the races where the max support was it was not even 90-10 or 95-5 or 96-4. It was just orange throughout. It was like a maybe not even 99-1. It was orange through and through.
I saw a picture on Instagram. Amongst all the orange, there was one fan with a Ferrari flag. And I think it was a shout
Yeah,
out
I
to him
also
saying
saw
a
this.
brave guy like, to be here.
Brave
Foreign
man.
territory with
What a
colours,
guy.
but
I watch races and I've only watched races that happen in Monza, and even I think Monza where it is dominated by the Tifosi. Even there I've seen times where McLaren has been doing well in the 90s and maybe 2000. I've seen support for McLaren. I've seen support even for I think BMW. BMW was doing well those 2 seasons.
No, I don't appreciate that. I want only full support for Ferrari only in Italy now. I really hope that they come in their numbers and just support the team. I think this is going to be a very, very big moment for them in the season. I think coming back from the summer break, they were absolutely dreadful with the car. It looked awful in all conditions, in all pre-practice quality. The race, Carlos kind of drove out of his skin to put it there in P5. But yeah, I think that concludes a 3-word race review. And yeah, so the next segment that we will go to, which is again in relation to the Dutch Grand Prix, is a smooth operator segment. And Carlos, I think, was very close, I think, in being the smooth operator of the race. I think he was probably the top. There were so many good drives, so he was top 5, so probably top 5 drivers only, smooth operator also. But yeah, I'd like to open that up to you guys as to who you thought was the smooth operator of the race. Not just because he was really good on track, but he was cool, calm, collected, was smooth. He had some interesting radio to chatter going around. Anything that you came across.
Get away from Max. Max, for me, was a smooth operator, but I would also say Alonso was a smooth operator. He started off, I think, in fifth position, and then I think he was second by the time they were halfway through the first lap. So apart from Max, I would say Alonso's my smooth operator for the Dutch Grand Prix. Pooja,
I think it was pretty obvious. Alonso was the smoothest operator on track. Max is just, unstoppable, so no competition. Um, I want to add 2 more names. Carlos, definitely. With the car that he had, I think he did a really good job by keeping faster cars behind him. But shout out to Hamilton as well. He didn't have the greatest strategy or the tires on his side, and he came back from P13 to P6. So
Yeah, it was
I
a
think Russell
decent
was
drive.
P3 and he didn't finish the race. But these 3 guys would be my smoothest operators.
I think put Carlos's drive a little ahead race, but
This guy defended
this
so
guy
well.
defended very well. And in fact, Lewis almost lost his sixth position to Norris. Did you see that?
Oh, I didn't see that.
No. So I think they finished 0.02 of a second apart. So I think if the finish line was probably 50 meters ahead, it would have been Norris ahead of Hamilton.
Oh, that's something I didn't catch.
Yeah, Hamilton has a solid 5 on 10 drive. Sashu has not reacted on it. Okay, not yours, not mine. 6 on 10 will. So you're saying your smooth operator was Alonso. You're saying your smooth operator was also. You had multiple
I
smooth
did put
operators.
Alonso, but he copied me again. So I put Sainz second, Hamilton third. In case anyone else decides to pick the same ones as me.
But you guys have forgotten one guy who's actually my smooth operator for the race. It's Pierre Gasly. P3, outstanding drive. That seems to be the case with Pierre, though. This season he's either outstanding or he's just nowhere. And I think in the middle of the race, when Carlos was just right behind him, he defended very well. And then when he had the pace in the last stint, he drove past Carlos, made some good moves stick. And then he just managed the pace at the end when he knew Perez had his 5-second penalty and finished well within that. And, P3 in that car, in the circumstances that team is in, with a new guy at the helm every week. I mean, it's and he's completely outperformed again Ocon in this race. And Ocon, for some reason, I find him stupidly aggressive on track. Like he's super chill outside off the track, but he just goes. He makes a lot of dangerous, passes and defensive moves, which you're always on the edge whether he's going to, lose it and get out of the race. Which Pierre, I think, is a little bit more calculated. He's a little bit more, calm in terms of where he positions the car, and he knows the limitations of the car at all times, and he tries to drive to the maximum. So I think Pierre was my smooth operator of the race. Close. Special mention for Carlos, but yeah, he did. No, he didn't drive on slicks. The guy who never went on the inters in the first stint, was Albon. Yeah, and I don't know how he was driving in those conditions.
He went 30 laps.
Yeah, he is superb. One more team, actually, there's one guy who's completely outperforming the other is obviously Williams. This Albon has just got one new lease of life. I mean, he's forgotten his Red Bull days and he seems to be in his, best years are just coming, I guess. So, yeah, that concludes the smooth operator segment. And now we will just look forward to foresee and look forward to the Italian Grand Prix in Monza, which is also an opportunity for us to close out our last segment, which is the undercut. And so, yeah, I mean, should we start with Pujams or should we start with Shashu? And do you guys have one undercut, two undercuts, three undercuts?
My undercut is something to do with Williams. Is that also the team that your undercut is about? So my undercut is, I think Albon is going to be fourth. And Logi is...
Logi is going to be.
Not that. Is that the prediction?
I think Logi is going to score 1 point.
Wow, that is a solid undercut.
I think he's going to get his first point in Monza.
Yeah, 1 point from Logi is like Kimi Räikkönen coming back, sitting in the Alpha and also getting 1 point. That's a very solid undercut. That's really nice. I think more than the Albon 4th. I think the 10th.
Albon has been performing quite well. And Monza being the high-speed track that it is Albon is going to perform, but I see Yuki doing the first championship point of his career in Monza.
Good one.
That's very good.
I hope
Poojams,
that's not your
go ahead.
I just did a podium prediction, so it's not 1 but 3. Can I?
Yeah.
3.
The rules are meant to be broken, Pooja.
So obviously Monza. Guys, did you know September 1st is Carlos Sainz's birthday? So I'm giving him one of the podium
Oh, I didn't.
positions. It is. So I'm going to give him one podium position. I'm going to throw in an Aston Martin as well because I think the Monza track will probably suit them quite a bit. Obviously, the other podium position, I don't think I need to see it, but it will be a Red Bull. But yeah, this would be my podium prediction. I haven't gone into 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th place yet. Maybe for the next segment, I will. Over to you.
So, you're saying Carlos Sainz number 3, number 2 is an Aston Martin,
Which I can't tell you.
and you're saying Aston Martin one podium and Red Bull in the other podium. So basically, Stroll,
No.
Perez, and Sainz.
No, I'm going to say science. I'll give obviously Max and Alonso. Would be my. I think Senior Stroll probably hopes for Lance, but no, I don't think he.
Senior Stroll for a point? No.
Senior Stroll hoping his son Junior Stroll will get a point.
Maybe Senior Stroll is going to get a point before Junior Stroll.
Could be. Maybe he should get into the car and see. Over to you, Kundu.
No, he'll get a point in a category that he will buy, which is not F1, and he'll be the only one who's racing, and he'll get P1. Actually, there'll be 2 more. There'll at least be 1 more guy in that championship. That'll be Otmar. Otmar and him have a very lovely relationship. he'll give Otmar 50 brake horsepower car. He'll take 100 brake horsepower car. He'll trash him. And then he'll tell Otmar, see, I told you you're not good enough.
Also, I think the Works are going to struggle in that Italy. I think they have a very draggy car.
Yeah, they're very draggy.
Even at the Dutch Grand Prix, without DRS in the field, Lewis did not have the pace to get past Carlos, even though he was much quicker than him in the other parts of the circuit.
Draco's learning some spells from the standard book of spells grade 3. So he's going to do his jadoo.
Direct Expelliarmus.
That both of you, the car only, he'll say. Yeah, I know that. But yeah, he's. I think the Mercs will struggle in Monza. I'm going bold. A P1 and a P3 for Ferrari. P1 for Leclerc. It's going to be a repetition of 2019. I can hear that commentary ringing. He wins in Spa and he wins in Monza. And it's going to be a extreme defensive driving masterclass from Max only. And Perez is not going to make it out of Q2. So, I mean, he's going to be probably in 11, 12. And he'll come 4th. And we will have this conversation again as to how he shit the bed in qualifying. So that is my prediction. I am summoning all my energies into this prediction. I think, in the words of Hyderabadi Hindi, this first race वो no light ले लिए. No point. नहीं जमता. They don't have the car. They were awful in Hungary, and I expected them to be bad here. So they have to come up with some solutions and probably a really skinny wing for Monza. And like I said, defensive driving, exactly the way it happened against Hamilton and then against Bottas in 2019 is what I'm predicting. That's pretty much my undercut. Yeah. We will see this race together, and if it doesn't happen, we will book our session with the therapist for Monday together.
Hope no pain. It's Monza.
Sachi, you're going to wear a cap, no, for the race also.
Looking at competition, it's only one entry Ferrari and I'm definitely going to win.
Shirt also, I'll give you. T-shirt.
If it comes true, then every race Shashi was wearing the cap.
Yeah.
And if that comes through, then I'm going to do the cab. For the entire season.
But yeah, I think we're
I'm
through.
largely wearing the cab.
That's good. Now it starts with the cap. Then next time you will have a T-shirt. By the way, next time also we have to. I think the viewers will want to see the Kimi Raikkonen tattoo. I think it's a true testament to being a fan. Yeah, I would have also got a tattoo, but I'm very scared.
Big reveal coming up next.
Big reveal for the next episode. Correct.
But I'll try and push to the next podcast.
We want the viewers to wait. Like India wants to know. The viewers will post question. They'll send us, what is this tattoo? We want to see.
Where is
So
the tattoo?
keep the viewers guessing. Where is the tattoo? It's not that kind of podcast. It's not that kind of show.
Just
And it's not that kind of tattoo also there.
See, if this fails, I'm ready to do that kind of podcast also. But that will be a solo attempt. I'm telling you all now. Like I said, I'm also figuring out my career. So I don't have time for all these frivolous activities. So yeah, I guess that's it. I think we've got our predictions out. I think the Dutch Grand Prix was a banger, and let's just hope that Italy also delivers, not just from a holistic standpoint that the race was good, but it's great for Ferrari and the Tifosi, and also so that I don't have to take my appointment with the therapist on Monday. I think she's tired of seeing me. I'm tired of seeing her, but yeah, that's all. That's all for the podcast. See you guys.
See you guys.
Cheers. Bye.